Hi, I'm Elia. I'm the founder of Bad Batch Studio. I spent my last 15 years in the media industry. I worked at the BBC, at Disney in London. And then about a year and a half ago, we decided to launch our studio. It's a combination of creativity, technology, and the creator economy. Our studio was started from a very simple observation. There are 1.3 billion adults spending time on YouTube and TikTok, treating that like their television. And these audience love certain type of content, TV series like science fiction, fantasy, horror, comedy, and that doesn't really exist in that ecosystem. And the reason it doesn't is because the studio who are making that kind of content for, say, HBO or Netflix are too slow and too expensive and cannot really deal with algorithms. So what we are building is a combination of creative and technology and understanding of the digital ecosystem. So we can bring this kind of content, premium series made for the YouTube generation.
Wow. How are you combining that creativity with AI?
So it's a very important question for us because obviously there's a lot of debate around the role of AI into the creative process. So we are basically a bunch of creatives and technologists. And the way we use AI is really through in our production process. So we start with script, arts, characters that are designed by our creative team. And then when we start moving to production, then we have our own tools. And the tools that we are building are meant to be solutions for our creatives to execute the vision. So our internal tool is called Nomad, and it's basically an orchestration platform. So it uses various tools. Some are traditional, some are AI generative. But the goal is really to have ease of use for non-technical people to fabricate and produce the content that they have imagined.
Yeah. Are you filming on set?
So
how does that work?
Yeah, so it's what we call the virtual set. So it's basically we are filming within a machine. So we onboard all our assets. So characters, arts, backgrounds, props. And then Miko, who is my CTO, what he has built is sort of a 3D environment. So we can place our characters, we can place our assets, we can place our backgrounds, we can place our point of view, we can play with the camera lens, lighting, colors. And then so that we can block our shots the way we want. So the way we work is creative concept, then we block with keyframes, and then we motion that, so move them. The motion is something that we are working on. But so far what we've been very focused on is creating the keyframes for our shows. So assembling characters in places and making sure that all our key images are really the way we want them to be.
Do you use AI to come up with the characters and the story?
No.
Okay.
So very little. So we will. Our screenwriters are able to use AI, but it needs to be in a way. Still need to be original work.
Yes.
So. Same, our artists are 2D and 3D artists. When we are concepting an episode or a film, we imagine a character. So for example, our last film was about a serial killer clown. And serial killer clown, we wrote him, but then we worked with a concept artist and he painted that character. And then that character became our protagonist. So that's how we like to work. So we start with original concepts, human-led craft, but when it comes to production, when it comes to fabrication, it's a bit like we use visual effects on steroids. So we are working on more synthetic content, but it is meant to be our creative work.
It has a human engine behind it, but AI is a tool.
That's
to speed up the process.
That's how we see it. And the reason it's key for us is that with these tools, we are able to do things much quicker. So it's not about speed, but in the YouTube ecosystem, the big difference between traditional TV and YouTube, TikTok is the volume and the frequency. We can make one great piece of movie, but if you launch on YouTube and that's the only thing you do, nothing will happen. We have worked in the YouTube ecosystem enough to know that if you want to succeed in that space, you need to start something and sustain it.
Yes.
So week in, week out, you need to have a content plan, know that something else is going to come up, so that every piece of content build on the precedent in a way, so that your audience can grow, and then therefore you can find an audience for your show.
People are hungry for content.
So yes, and the algorithm will only reward the ones that are coming back. So it's if you, for example, start a YouTube channel tomorrow, you can do the best piece of content you can think of. It's likely that no one will see it because the algorithm will not present it. So you have to come back and have like a second, and a third, and a fourth, and a fifth piece of content before you start being simply to exist in that environment. And then it better be good content so that when an audience finds it, they enjoy it almost more.
In the most popular genre, or the algorithm that's shown to be the most successful?
So far, I mean, we are working on a kind of supply-demand kind of relationship tension. So what we found is we believe on YouTube, the key genres which are underserved are the ones that we want to tackle. So we start with horror. So our first concept is cinematic horror channel. The second one is comedy. So we created a comedy show with two 2D characters. There are two aliens coming to Earth and trying to figure out how the humans work. But they don't come from any planet, they come from planet AI, so they kind of a little bit hallucinate what's going on. So we play with that kind of parallel relationship. And then the next projects will be science fiction anime. Then we are thinking about a music project, we're also thinking about a romantic fantasy project. So what we are thinking are the most interesting genres for the broadest population on YouTube, which tend to be 15 to 34 years old.
And is this all animation?
So it's all animation so far, it's all animated. It's more like computer-generated content, if you will.
Okay.
So it can be animation in style. One of our show is animated. Another one is more what we call live action. But the protagonists and the characters are still synthetic. So
are they human synthetic?
They look like humans.
Okay.
Yeah, but they are computer generated. Yes.
And you instruct, almost like actors. Can you instruct the AI?
So
characters?
acting is a big limitation, and directing actors via computers is not the greatest outcome.
Have you tried?
So we've done some prompt based. We also worked on what we call style transfer. So for example, I will take me or someone, I will film him and then transfer it to my character. We also done more traditional animation, which is basically we will kind of create paths and rigs. But I think going forward, what we would love to do more of is the kind of avatar style, which is using real actors that we can then transpose into our style.
Yeah.
And same for voice, for example. So it is possible to create synthetic voices. It is really possible with 11 Labs and other tools. But we find that having voice actors is much better in terms of controlling and directing intonations, pose, acting basically. Same with music. It is very possible to create music with AI, but we find that working with actual musicians and producers brings a vibe and a soul that is
the soul.
hard to replicate otherwise. So it's really, we are young and small, so we cannot afford to do everything the way we want just yet. But the intention is really there to be able to kind of bring over kind of human value add in the filmmaking process, and then remove all the kind of more technical friction process out of the way, And then that's why we are building tools to help us achieve that.